liquid, newborns need to contend with gravity in a whole new way. Huge brains make their heads long, about a quarter of their body length, and heavy. And it will be months before they can even lift them off the ground. Newborn babies rely on caregivers for virtually everything. Simply rolling or sitting is still months away. Most four-legged creatures can walk soon after birth. Elephants walk almost immediately. Monkeys can scamper around after only a month or two. And even our closest relatives, chimpanzees, can walk after 6 months. So why do human babies need a year before they can take their first wobbly steps?
Humans are born with really enormous brains for their body size, and they keep growing them at a really fast rate of growth early on after birth. And that's one of the reasons why we take so long to grow up, because we're actually spending the first few months of our life still actually being a fetus, except we're a fetus outside the womb.
Humans have larger brains relative to body size than most creatures on the planet. And needing to get such a big head through a mother's small birth canal helps explain why babies are so helpless. Karen Rosenberg of the University of Delaware studies human fossils in order to understand why we're born when we are.
If you look at human ancestors, say, 8 million years ago, when we were similar to apes like chimpanzees and gorillas, we would have given birth in a much simpler way. There would have been lots of room to spare.
But today, a baby's large brain needs to fit through a mother's narrow pelvis. Our upright stance means the fit is much tighter than for quadrupeds, like chimps.
What you have in apes, like this chimpanzee, the birth canal is the same shape. It can go straight through here with lots of room to spare.
Unlike other animals, which always give birth alone, humans need help from others, and it's always been dangerous.
For a lot of human history, death in childbirth was the leading cause of death for women.
The baby must twist and turn to get out.
So this is a female pelvis in the view that a midwife would have, and the baby's head can't enter the birth canal in this orientation, but it can enter facing sideways, but then get stuck. And so when it's part of the way through the birth canal, it has to twist to turn 90 degrees to come out like that.
If we stayed in the womb much longer, our brains would never fit. They more than double in size in just the first year after birth.
The point at which human babies are born is a balance. If we were born later in our development, we would be less helpless, but our heads would be too big to pass successfully through the birth canal. If we were born early in our development, it would be easier to give birth, but we would be less developed and we would be subject to all the kinds of risks that premature babies are subject to.